Going as far as possible in the Haunted Forest in the new Festival of the Lost update means more candy, which means more loot. And this year in specific, Bungie is giving us 5 times the normal amount. Well done, Bungie. Well done. Getting more candy means we can get some of those sweet random rolls. Just before we start, over 95% of you aren't subscribed, so if you enjoy this video, please subscribe. It's free and helps me a lot. The Haunted Forest is a very popular Destiny 2 update that's coming back for the 3rd year in a row. It involves clearing a dark version of the Infinite Forest over and over again in a certain amount of time, with each run getting progressively harder with more and more debuffs. On reaching the end of the branch, you have a boss fight with an enemy called a Terror, which is just a normal in-game Ultra enemy such as a Knight, Shank, Centurion, and more. There are hidden chests throughout the forest which you can find in a diverging path for extra candy. The further you go, the more rewards you get at the end. The best way to get far in the Haunted Forest is by upgrading your mask with one of 3 new festival mods. The best by far, at least for me, is the Higher Purpose mod. Not only does this increase damage to all enemies, but it essentially nullifies the debuff Grounded. Furthermore, since most top tier weapons are non-precision such as the Anarchy, Xenophage, Mountaintop, Witherhoard, and Falling Guillotine, the other 2 mods are simply not really that useful. Every mod also gives a high chance of dropping heavy ammo on kills, and this is a very noticeable effect. You can essentially use guns such as the Anarchy and Xenophage as a special or even primary weapon with the number of heavy ammo breaks you can get. This forest gets pretty hard at later rounds when you end up with more than 5 debuffs. The first thing to remember is that you should be liberal with using your heavy weapon. A lot of the branches won't let you move forward until you kill certain enemies that are glowing red, and using your heavy liberally here can save you a lot of time. The only enemies you should be using your primary on are weak normal enemies, and that's only if you don't have a lot of heavy left. Your general armor mods are also incredibly important. One good one you definitely want is Heavy Ammo Scavenger. This combined with the Festival of the Lost mods will mean that you will never essentially run out of ammo. Some other good mods include Taking Charge, Reactive Pulse, Loosened Blade, assuming you're using a sword, Stacks on Stacks, Supercharged, and High Energy Fire. Splitting up your team to do certain roles is also important. The composition that worked best for me was one person focusing on normal ad clear with a heavy weapon such as 21% Delirium, and the others bringing in high DPS weapons to quickly clear the challenging enemies and terrors. The high DPS combos I would recommend are either the Xenophage and Mountaintop, Anarchy and Mountaintop, or the Guillotine and Witherhoard. Using these weapons well with Tether, Oppressive Darkness, and either a well or a bubble means that terrors will go down near instantly and challenging enemies won't even see you coming. To that regard, having a high discipline stat is incredibly important, assuming you have Oppressive Darkness on with a Void subclass. Another good loadout for someone to run may be the Traveler's Chosen. Running a high discipline with it will mean that you essentially will always have a grenade. Lumina also works well with the Well of Radiance Warlock, especially if you get the debuff that stops you from healing. My personal favorite combination includes a Bottom Tree Tether, which has the DPS and the safety factor, a Warlock for the Well of Radiance and healing, and any class with an Ad Clear super. Sorry, Titans. What's different this year is that you need Cypher decoders to open the extra chests at the end, and you get these from doing anything in Destiny 2 after speaking to the Spider once the festival launches. Assuming your main goal is to get good God Roll guns, the best strategy would be to get at least 5 Cypher decoders before clearing the forest so that you can open up all the chests at the end and get the highest number of possible rolls. I would honestly do this over running the forest over and over again, as while it's fun, after a couple hours it gets kind of stale, especially since this is the 3rd year of it returning. Some final things. Completing 3 of the triumphs for opening chests in the forest leads to the ability to buy some of the coolest ships, sparrows, and ghosts I've ever seen with candy. There will also be an unkillable enemy that you may run into while going through the branches. This enemy will be a giant knight and should just be ignored. Stay far away from him though, because he's fast and can easily slice you in half. Also remember that even once the time runs out, you can finish the wave you're on, you just won't be able to respawn. So take it slow and be careful, and in general, respawning puts you far back, so if possible, try to get a revive. And that's a wrap. Comment below with the highest branch you've cleared yet, and whether you're enjoying this event so far. As usual, I can't record games at a high enough quality, so the creators whose footage I used will have their videos linked in the description. Again, these videos take a lot of time to make, so a subscription would make my day. Take care, and I'll see you next time.